Okay guys, I think I got you set up on a tripod. I actually have two hands here. This is what the griddle looked like. I have not really done anything other than what I'm doing here right at the moment. And why you don't want to use a steel scouring pad on this stuff. Doing what I'm doing here is not going to hurt it, as long as you don't bang on it. If you bang on it, things get real ugly. As you can tell, all that's lifted up, but just for real quickly here, we're going to also give it a heat. While it's heating here, I'm going to go ahead and go get some paper towels. I'll be right back. Getting this cool. Now at this point of the venture, you definitely want to use paper towels and not dish towel or something like that. The reason being is you get all that grease in a dish towel and things get really ugly. I'm going to get this done, and then I'm also going to work on this little 6-inch pan that I had originally fried. That was 1 can of corned beef hash. Trying to think what all was in there. I think that was just corned beef hash and the eggs. I probably put some onion, minced onion, and that kind of stuff. And let this warm up just a little bit more. But anyway, what you want to do here is you want to wipe it down while it's warm. That's kind of what I'm going to start doing here. Start absorbing this up. And here's the other reason you use a paper towel. Is if you use a paper towel, you can just kind of go like that real quickly. You don't make quite as big a mess, and away you go. And as you can tell, well, maybe you can't tell. I don't know. You may be able to tell that with heating this and with scraping it, it looked really bad in one of the other video. This is actually coming back fairly clean and fairly smooth, and that's what you want to do here. Is you want to clean it. You want to get it back down to the seasoned surface on the deal. I'm wasting way too much paper towel here. Let's see what we come up with. And it's getting warm, but that's what you want. You definitely want it warm. Okay, and now that you got it to this point, that's warm. It's too warm really to just pick up with my bare hands. And if you remember, I've been having trouble with that aspect of this all along. I'm gonna go ahead and shut that off. Actually, I'm gonna leave that on. There's a reason for that. I'm gonna leave that on for just a second. And then you take this over here and you put it in the sink, and boy, yep, that's warm. Okay, I'm going to see if I can maneuver you around to where that you can see what I'm doing over here in the sink. Something about like so. Did that get you in? Almost. Let's go one more time. Oh, I got a camera on a tripod that is not exactly big enough to do what I do. It's I got the tripod on a box, and so I'm trying not to make any sudden moves here. And I guess probably it would help if I got out of the shot. Now you see how now I'm using fairly warm water here. And I'm using a Scotch-Brite pad. Now you can also use these copper scratch pads. You don't use a steel pad. Don't use a Brillo pad or anything at this point. If you do, the Brillo pad will take the seasoning off. And so you work this, and you just keep going, and you just keep working it. I have a feeling it's probably still too hot for me to do what I really want to do here. Okay. Get her turned over, do the other end. This griddle, like I said, is big enough to where it'll go across. Those are empty spice bottles. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to be cheap enough to save them and put something else in them, or I just want to throw them away. I may just end up throwing them away. Okay, yeah, that's cool enough. Now I can go to the touch. But the reason you heat that up again is to get the stuff that's stuck on there and get it to release. And in getting it to release, then just a Scotch-Brite pad, the green Scotch-Brite pad that you can get just about any place. Your local grocery store is going to have it. Your national Walter's World will probably have them as well. But I think that's where I got these particular ones. Yeah, see, now that's doing good. Now, what you do then, and I think that's cooled down a little bit. Let's let this warm back up. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, you definitely want to rinse the soap off. Most guys will tell you you really don't want to put that in soapy water. I do. I don't really notice residue, aftertaste or anything like that when I reuse the pan the next time I use the pan. And that's the reason they're cautioning you not to use the soap, is they don't want you to leave soap residue in it to where that you end up your next batch gets funky tasting. Okay, and so you let that drip dry as good as you can, and then you just kind of wipe down the excess water. Now, remember I left that burner on? I'm going to show you why here now. Let's turn this over. Now let's give this side another rinse. Got soap bubbles on this side, probably from where my hand touched it. And now I've got a totally soaked paper towel. Ooh, yeah, that burner's warm. Okay. So you want to get it as dry as you can get it, and that's why we left the burner on. I'm going to stick this back over the burner, dry it out, and I may leave that up. Get you turned back around here where you can see what's going on here. That burner was nice, it was glowing nice and red when I moved that. Let's see here, we're almost there. Let's put you back there. And I don't know if you can see it or not already, but this thing's drying out. You definitely want it dry. And while that's drying out, I'm going to go ahead and get another, see if I can find my seasoning rag. Here we go. There's my oil rag. And my seasoning oil. I suppose I could close those up. Again, early in the stage here, I'm going back with grapeseed oil, and it gives a little bit tougher, harder sheen to it. And so in doing that, now I'm going to spin this thing over. But using grapeseed oil, especially in your easy early seasonings, you get a more durable stick. When I was up at my daughter-in-law's earlier this year, I did hers completely with olive oil, and olive oil works. She's used that pan a couple times, and she's thanked me for giving her that pan. and I was glad to do it. But what you do here now is you just basically wipe this down. You get it warmed back up, and you get just a little bit of oil on your rag. You don't need an awful lot of oil at this point because you're not wanting to season it. You're just wanting to protect it, because at this point I have no idea when the next time I'm going to use this griddle is, and so we go from there. But anyway, yeah, you wipe this down, and some will tell you if you do that and store it that way, then you end up with nasty, rancid kind of stuff. If you do get rancid stuff, all you gotta do is heat it up, wash it out like I did this one, and then come back and do this, and that'll take care of the rancidness of the deal. It'll take it right off. It's no problem. But anyway, yeah, anytime you oil your pan, you definitely want to warm it up some. You don't have to have it. When I do the seasoning, I put the oven on 400. You don't need to put the oven. You don't need to. For this seasoning, the stovetop seasoning, you don't need to do that. Now, that is actually good enough. You can see that stovetop's red hot there, I think. And that then you set aside in a safe, dry place, which for some reason right at the moment I don't have. You don't put it in your dish rack if you have a plastic dish rack. At that point, that will melt that. Now comes the interesting one, because this here is the skillet that I originally cooked the hash brown and eggs. That's a double element stove, and so I'm turning the outside element off because this is a small enough pan. The outside element doesn't help me a lot there at this point. But it's just, you do that, okay? And then what you do is you get some hot water going, and I'm not going to, you know how to get hot water. You get some hot water, and half a cup or so, and I probably won't use all of that, but you let that warm up. And I don't know if you can see in here, but this, if we can just hear it sizzle, I can hear it sizzling. Maybe you can too. But you get that warmed up, and just about the right point, and you're going to have to be the judge of that. You're going to go like this. Oh yeah. Could have been just a little bit warmer. You're going to let that steam. And in letting that steam, then, steam will actually, if you get stuff cooked onto your pan that way, you can't get it off the way I did on the griddle. Steam will take care of this. Will loosen it up. And it usually doesn't take all that long for the length of this video here. Well, let's see if I can get through the steam process here. You let it do that. Actually, if you can, you let that whole steam, everything you put in there, you let it just steam out. You don't want to recook the stuff to the bottom. Okay? Yeah. See, we still got water in there. Let's go back with that. And you notice I'm doing this on a glass top stove. Some people will tell you, well, you can't use cast iron on an electric stove. I don't like using it on a coil electric stove because it's heavy enough to mess up the burner itself. But on a glass top stove, as long as you don't bang it and crack your glass top, it works. And actually works really, really well. It's a little tricky to learn exactly how to do stuff, but it's doable. So anyway, and you notice that what I do here is I use, that's cast iron that's been seasoned and been put away that way. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. That water's boiling really, really well. This is what's nice. This pot has it. See how that's just coming right off there? If you steam that way, that stuff will all come off and come off really, really, really pretty easily. And so, yeah. Again, you don't use steel wool like a Brillo pad or an SOS pad. You don't use that on your cast iron. You don't use raw steel wool either. It gets ugly. Now then, oh, you didn't. I don't think I panned out far enough. But this is what this is for. This little tool here. Take this over to the sink. Drip that down there. That works really, really well. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with that, but that goes directly into the garbage. And we're still working with it a little bit here, but it's all loose. It's no longer stuck. It's just like deglazing the pan when you cook stuff and you deglaze the pan. That all comes out. And it comes out well. Now remember, Joe, that particular burner is still hot. Don't stick your hand on it. And stick that on there. That won't hurt. We'll get a paper towel. Give this a quick wipe out just to get the garbage out of it. And then we're going to end this video. Just simply because everything I do from here on out is the same thing I did with the griddle. You wipe it out clean, you bring it back over. You warm it up again, and then you wipe it down. Matter of fact, this may be good enough. I may not end this video here right yet. I may be. Now, the other thing you want to remember too is when you're doing this, you don't use paper towel as your oil medium. If you use paper towel as your oil medium, it can get really, really iffy. It'll leave lint and garbage in there, and that's not good. See? As nasty as what that pan was, it's now, and I'm going to just go like this. Let that dry for just a second. Yeah. My garbage can is usually over. There's a nook underneath where the dishwasher used to be. That's where the garbage can usually resides. Yeah, that's still hot now. Yeah, we're good. We're going to put just a touch here on the rag, and you can't see that, but right here there's the stuff. That pan probably could be handled without that, but just wipe her down, and that pan is ready to go for a new fry. Cool. I'm actually liking, I had never used the grapeseed before, but the grapeseed oil, I like the finish that it's giving me. And little by little, each time you do this, you're actually building the seasoning in the pan, and as long as you do it this way, as long as you heat the pan. If you don't heat the pan, then you just get an oily mess. But if you heat the pan, it dries the stuff off, cooks it off, and away you go. Just want to show you something on that Lodge deal. Remember I told you, let's see, where's the Lodge at? Here we go. I told you want to wipe stuff down. Last time when in the video, when I wiped that all down, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I left way too much oil on there, and that's what you get. That's actually cooked on oil. Now I've got two choices. I can either hope that it continues to build that, or else I can take that off and make it uniform with the other. I'll make a decision on that at another point, because I've got to redo this side one more time anyway. This side's not quite ready to be put back into storage. But even with that, that's after 2 seasonings, and we're making progress on that too. That hasn't hurt the pan at all. If all else fails, what you do is you can go back to a self-cleaning oven cycle. You put these in the oven just like I do when I season them. Put them in there and run the self-clean, and this will take all your seasoning off. If you do that, then you got to restart back at the beginning. And I've got a couple pans I may do that with here at some point. But there it is, the Lodge 10-inch Dutch oven. I love that thing, and we're making it work. Matter of fact, later this afternoon I may even show you how to use that. Well guys, that's what the open cook stove, that's what it looks like. You be good, we'll see what this looks like and see if we upload it. And if you see it, obviously I uploaded it. You take care, have a great day.